Welcome back, guys. So listen, I just want to first apologize for one, the sound quality because I'm outside on a really old phone, and then two, the fact that the last video when I uploaded it, I realized it had been 12 days. I really need to get you guys multiple videos a week, so I apologize. I'm just trying to get through life, but I want to talk about the barrios, like what you see right now. You think is like a barrio, and people on YouTube they talk about going to the most dangerous barrio and blah blah, all of that shit. I just finished coming back from doesn't matter where buying weed, and we're gonna talk a little bit about me and my background and what's really dangerous about Colombia and what's not. So that said, let's get back to the apartment, and I'm gonna put this on a tripod and we're gonna talk. Okay, let's go. All right, guys. So we're back out of the street in the apartment on the lovely couch. So I wanted to talk about the experience of today. And it made me think about all of the YouTubers that post stuff like I know there's a few popular YouTubers that have posted things, and I know some of it is just like it's clickbait, but it's like, I'm in the most dangerous city in Colombia and like all of this nonsense. And in my effort to be more transparent, there's certain things in my life that I can never ever share, but there's other things that I can share from just kind of, cautious with how I share it. So that said, yesterday's experience, my past experience, life in general, leads me to wanting to share this story with you right now. So, you saw me walking around. That was Sabaneta. Okay, so Sabaneta is a city in the southern part of Medellin. So you have Medellin, like Centro, and then you've got different suburbs around Medellin, right? So you have Laureles, you got Poblado, Provenza, you got Bejo, you got Envigado, Itaúi, Sabaneta, and all of these cities. You've also got, like Aranjuez, whatever. All of these cities are basically around the area of Medellin, and Medellin sits in a valley. So that said, I was for the last few years, I've lived in Bejo, which if you listen to people talk about Bejo, people will tell you Bejo is dangerous. And I have never felt more comfortable anywhere than Bejo, if I'm being honest, because no one in Bejo gives you a hard time about anything. Yes, there's crime that happens there, but most of it is not crime that happens there. And then you have people that, they're like, oh no, I live in the South, which is Envigado, Sabaneta, Itaúi. I only came back to the South because of Joa, her daughter, and where Joa's daughter went to school, which is why I came back to the South. That's the absolute only reason. I have no desire to come back to the South. And the reason for that is a lot, or multiple, I should say. So one, the culture in the South, which is really where all the tourists hang out, is different. The people are very different in Medellin in the South. The experience and the vibes are different. And even the simple things like going out on a date with your girl in the South, it's automatically looked at and assumed that if you're a foreigner and she's a Colombian, that she's a propago, or a prostitute. And so like it's stupid. And then if you don't even want to talk of that, just like sitting down and having someone talk to your date in Spanish and like literally like want to ask me a question but talk to my date because they just assume I'm a foreigner that doesn't know Spanish. And those kind of things drive me nuts. So I really don't like being here in the South. I'm in the South right now. Um, yeah, more on that later in other episodes, but I don't want to make this too long-winded. Imagine me saying not to make video too long-winded. Funny. But that said, we're here. So yesterday I was like, man, I need to get some weed. Now, somebody commented in one of the videos, you smoking doesn't, what is it? It doesn't solidify what you're saying, or it's not a good look, or I don't give a fuck if you think me smoking weed makes you feel any type of way. I don't care. I've been smoking weed. I'm 42. I've been smoking weed since I was 38. The very first time I ever smoked weed, I was 38 years old. I do not smoke weed because it does anything for anybody else. It's a decision for myself, for me, how I feel. And if I'm being honest, I wish I would have known it before. I think marijuana is one of the most powerful medicines available when used properly and not abused. So again, I don't give a fuck if you have a problem with me smoking weed or any of those things. Now, that said, for me, it is medicinal and I needed to get some weed. So I have some contacts, and when my financial situation is not me making sure I'm day by day, as I wait for things, I'm like, well, I'm not gonna go spend. So I'm saying this like money wise, right? Like I could get delivery of 3 grams. People that know weed will know what I'm saying. So like 3 grams would cost me like 35,000 pesos and then 10,000 to 15,000 pesos for delivery. So all in all would be like $10. Now, clear aspect, $10, about 3 grams, that's delivery. If I go to get food, like a pound of ground beef is going to cost me between 8 and 12,000 pesos. So for that same $10, I can get 3 pounds of beef, of ground beef. I eat ground beef. Logan eats ground beef. I'm pointing down. You guys can't see, but Logan's laying here at my feet. Oh, and so I'm like, I don't want to spend 30, 40,000 pesos, 50,000 pesos on weed. Let's just go into a barrio and buy a couple blunts because you can just buy blunts. You can do like full size blunts in tobacco, like rolled in regular papers, or you can get they're called cueros, which is like a joint paper. Um, why am I sitting here explaining this? So tobacco, your regular tobacco paper, or you can get. I don't like tobacco. Actually, I shouldn't say I don't like tobacco. I love tobacco, which is why I do my best never to smoke it. And then this is what you would call a cuero, which is just like a joint, like regular white rolling paper. So in either case, I was thinking to myself, two things. I could get on the metro and go to Bejo because, like I said, lived in Bejo for a long time. I know exactly where all my contacts are that are street dealers where I could just go buy two two blunts, two joints. Because two joints, in retrospect, is gonna cost me 5,000 or 4,000 per joint. So I could go get two joints, make it through the whole weekend, and the cost of the metro is gonna cost me 8,000 pesos. So obviously 12,000 pesos or um 16,000 pesos is half the price of 35 to 50. So that's my idea. I'm going to go to this barrio, but I don't really want to go to Bejo because of time. Like yesterday, I was kind of tight on time. So I was like, you know what? Let's just go for an adventure. I'm going to go to Barrio Antioquia. Now, Barrio Antioquia is where you can pretty much get anything that you want drug wise in Medellin. But definitely we at pretty much any corner and every corner in Barrio Antioquia. But you still have to know how to move, right? Like it's not like, especially as a tourist, you're not about to like roll up in Barrio Antioquia and people are gonna offer you weed. That happens to me, but that doesn't happen to most people. But before I get into the rest of this story, I'm gonna give some background information. So, I used to be the president of a motorcycle club. I have never said that out loud before on any recorded anything. But I used to be the president of the motorcycle club. I need to start inserting some pictures. So, um, I don't even know if I still have that picture. I might, but if I do, I'm going to insert the pictures right here. But it was a big deal for me. So, being the president of a motorcycle club, I was not the president at inception. I became and got voted in as the president, months into it. And the reason that I point that out is because when the club started, the president and like the hierarchy did some things and made some moves that were incorrect. What do I mean by that? So I'm not going to say the states. I really don't want to go into the details. Friends that know me personally will know where I was. If you guys track my social media long enough and you lock into who I am, you could figure those things out. But for ease of, it's not really that important. I'm going to skip the details that don't matter in terms of like locations where. But if you have a motorcycle club in anywhere in the United States, really in the world, and you decide that you and your club want to wear a three-piece rocker. Three-piece rocker means the top rocker is going to be the club name, like what the club is. The middle rocker is going to be the club insignia or logo, and then the bottom rocker is going to be what state you're representing. So if you ever want to wear a three-piece rocker, these things are three separate patches. Rocker is a patch, three separate patches. You have to get the okay, the approval by a 1% governing body in your state. Now, what that means, 1% governing body in your state. For layman's terms, if you don't know what a 1%er club is, watch Sons of Anarchy. Okay, Sons of Anarchy depicted a 1%er club, 1%er motorcycle club. And so in this particular state where I was, there are two big 1%er clubs. And those people in the club prior to me were thinking and making the decision of sanctioning and getting blessed by one particular club. When they did that, it was very short-sighted. And if you know anything about the underground world, nothing is for free. Like there's always catches, restrictions, things that need to be done, taken care of in order to have a certain blessing, what have you. This was not being done properly in any way, shape, or form. So I come on the scene. Now, when I come on the scene and I get voted in as president, I start just based on my own background, originally from New York. I understand the streets. Like I'm not gonna say I'm from the streets, but I've always had very close ties and connections with the streets. And so when I'm listening to and going through this situation as being explained and expressed to me, I'm like, you guys are making a bad decision because you're looking at what you think, but not necessarily what you know. All right, let's merge the story, shall we? When people think of things that are dangerous, most of the time, they're really not. Let's talk dogs. Logan is right here at my feet. He's just hanging out. And I can walk him anywhere. He's very social, appears social, neutral. Um, Everyone thinks he's super cute. This dog has had two live bites, and homeboy bites. He bites firm, hard, deep, and will rip you out. So he looks very calm and he looks very innocent, but the reality is homeboy is dangerous. He's a dangerous dog. He's not dangerous like I need to worry about him randomly attacking anybody, but he's dangerous in the sense that, you have to respect what he is as an actual animal, a beast. A chihuahua, an animal, I won't call it a beast, but loud, barks all the time, seems aggressive maybe. And the reality is almost harmless. Now, the reason I'm saying that is because that is true almost all the time. The person that's talking a lot, that's got the big mouth, they're usually the punk. They're usually not the dangerous person. The quiet, kept, reserved, trying to maintain their peace, neutral in most situations. That's the person. Comfortable. That's where the danger lies. And so, most often, people, they follow the noise and they think that the noise is real danger when the reality is it's not. Why am I saying that? So, here in Medellin, most people will tell you Centro, which is like Plaza Botero, the cultural center, that area of Medellin is dangerous. And a lot of people classify it that way. There's a video that was just out recently. Somebody was getting their phone robbed or stolen, or attempted to get stolen while they were recording a video. And in that whole process, I'm laughing because I'm like, that's not dangerous. This is just an idiot that's not paying attention. And people are poor. And poor people do stupid things like try to steal your phone because if they could get away with it, it's a crime of opportunity. Kind of like this situation that happened to me, right? I really feel like I obviously got, but it was a crime of opportunity that was my fault for allowing the physicians to play it. All of that said, the loud is not necessarily the dangerous. So like people have been stabbed in Botero, etc., stuff like that, but they're very rare cases, right? Rare. I mean, the place is packed with people constantly. There is a huge police presence. Like that is not what I would consider the most dangerous city in Colombia or Medellin or whatever else. People do like out and ways and say the same thing. Again, lots of police, not a big deal. Okay, so it's like we're gonna ping pong back and forth here. So during the time from which I'm president of this motorcycle club, I choose and make a change into who the 1%er club that was sanctioning our ability to wear three-piece patches would be, which caused problems, as you could probably imagine. And I'm saying all of to say, I spent a lot of time with this 1% club a lot of time, experienced and exposed to a lot of different amazing things. And if any of them called me right now, I would drop whatever I was doing to help however I could. Because they really take care of things like that. Like they're people I would consider friends for life. Why am I saying that? Because the flip side of all of this, we're now looking for weed in Barrio Ethiopia. I'm a comfortable guy. I'm fluent in Spanish. And so I just take the metro to Barrio Antioquia and I get off. And now you gotta like get to Barrio Antioquia from the metro station that it took and try to figure out where to go. You gotta kind of figure out where to go. So who do I ask? Now, if you're street smart, you know who to ask. The people that spend most of the time in the street. So there's a guy at the light cleaning windshields. And I'm like, I'm gonna ask him. I'm like, listen, where are they selling weed here? Like, where's the closest place to where we are? And he was like, listen, you got to go on the other side of the station, get on the bike path, and just follow the bike path and just go straight. He's like, and you'll find people like smoking on the side or just, ask one of them who's got. I'm like, okay. So that got me to Barrio Antioquia for where, like, I could start looking for who was going to sell. And so initially, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to look. Like, I'll just walk around and look. Like, I'm good at this. Oh, and then I was like, you know what? Let's do that. So I walk and I look and I find a guy. There's a few people smoking. You could obviously smell weed with people smoking weed. And I'm like, yo, what's up? I need a blunt. And so he's like, I don't have any blunts, but I have cueros, which is what I have, joints. And so I was like, okay, cool, give me two. So I got two, but I'm thinking to myself, I don't want to have to come out here again. Transport cost me 8, and this was too easy. Like I've got to find better options. So I keep walking, and then I'm like, I see a homeless guy, and I'm like, and he's like homeless but mo, meaning like you saw some homeless people that are like homeless and drugged out, so they're like knocked out all the time, like sleep somewhere in the sun on the sidewalk, like the typical homeless person that's drugged out and homeless. This guy was homeless, but he didn't appear to be a drug addict. He just appeared homeless. So I was like, yo, where else can I get weed? And I'm at this point in time, I'm in the street smoking one of the joints that I just bought. And he's like, well, it's further ahead. He's like, it's further up. He said, más adelante. And I'm like, okay, where? And he was like, if you want, like walk with me, we could walk together. And I'm like, okay. Now, if you're street smart, you might be thinking to yourself, bro, he's about to walk you to someplace. Like, you don't want to do that. And for me personally, drug me, there's nothing I could do about it. But 5-on-1, I feel pretty good. So I'm like, whatever. Like I could read a situation. Let's see. So I'm just following the guy. So we're walking in the street. I'm still smoking, and we're walking through and getting deeper and deeper and deeper into this barrio. And things change now, right? So now you're deeper in the barrio. There are no people on cars. There's barely any motos, and there are no police. Cool. I'm still cool. I feel good. I feel comfortable, and I really feel more comfortable in dark situations like this than in the South, where all these tourists and people think everything is good. So I'm still following him, and now I'm like, he's looking around and I'm looking around and I'm seeing like, yeah, like more and more sketchy people coming out from different places. And I'm thinking to myself, I mean, he'd be dumb to try to rob me just looking at me and looking at him. And like, you don't know how much I have or don't have. And I mean, I'm broke right now, people. So it would really be stupid. The best thing you could try to do is take my phone, which at this point in time, I like that's not a good option for you. So thinking to myself, it's cool, whatever. But let's still just see. So we're now like 10 to 15 minutes into walking, getting deeper and deeper into the barrio. And he finally asked somebody else. And I'm like, bam. Now I know he's not walking with me because he's trying to set me up. He really is trying to get me to where he knows I can get. I'm like, okay, cool. So now I'm a little bit more relaxed with this guy. But it still doesn't change the fact that you got a foreigner and a homeless guy walking the streets of this barrio. So I'm like, whatever, let's go. So we go deeper, couple barbershops, and now we're like in the message line of communication that is not having to talk and looking at different people direct where to go because now it's been noted that this is what we're looking for. So we're looking at one guy that's sitting in a barbershop who points to another guy that's across the street. And as we're progressing up the street, walking to this guy here, this guy, he's not saying anything. He's just looking and pointing to where we need to go next. So this is like, I want to say 5 or 6 different people as we navigate to a corner. Now, I'm paying attention, obviously, because I'm now neck deep into this barrio, and it's obvious I'm a foreigner. My Spanish is fantastic, so none of that is a problem. But still, like, there's no backup plan. I don't have Logan with me. Like, it's just me. So I'm now like really, really paying attention. Now here's the deal, and this for me, I was like afterwards, I keep playing back in my head. Was like, wow, holy fuck. So I pull up to the house. This guy now fades back to my left. Like he's there, but he's like, that's where. I'm like, yeah, I could see this now. So he's like not getting involved. I'm like, cool, no biggie. So I walk up to one guy, and the one guy is like, well, that's the guy. And that guy now points to another guy. And now I'm looking at this guy with a big ass garbage bag. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I tell him I'm a blunts. He tells me to have blunts. He only has exotics. And I was like, all right, well, give me 2 exotics. So he gives me 2 exotics, which are still in Kratos, but bigger. 10,000 mil. I give the guy 20. Now here's the thing. We are outside this house, this like apartment type house thing with 3 doors. There's 2 levels, and it's surrounded by other houses, like typical barrio, but like everyone's open. This dude at first has his back towards me. His hands are out towards the street. I don't ever do street dealings with my back towards the street because I want to see who's coming and approaching. I like a wall behind me. So I come from him from like the other angle. When he turns around, homeboy turns around, and I'm not kidding. He's got a stack of cash. And I'm not talking a stack of cash like this folded. I'm talking a stack of cash like this layered in his hand, like he's holding a brick. Okay. And I'm like, huh. Nobody is around him. Like there's people dealing, whatever, but it's just in his hands. He reaches in the bag. He pulls out two of these exotics, gives it to me. I give him the 20, gives him my change. That's it. And then I move along. Now, as I'm walking out, like walking out of the situation off the curb back down the street, I'm still looking around. And like there's like 4 houses now where I can see other people watching him, but all of these people are moving around. Like all of these people are moving around him. He's got no issues, no nothing. Now, why am I saying that? Because, ladies and gentlemen, that is the most dangerous fucking Mario. When you are so comfortable in doing the crime that you're doing that you can have, I mean, easily, I would say it was like 10 million pesos, which would be the equivalent to like 2 grand, more or less. In the street, and you don't have to worry about anybody trying to rob you, like no hassle, no headache. That is when you are in the lion's den and they control the outcomes of and the narratives of everything that happened, which is why you could be out in public, posted up on your corner with all of that money with no concerns. Now, for me, I'm just like, hold on. Okay, cool. One, I know exactly where to go now to get whatever weed I want. And I also understand that that is the lion's den. So like, okay, cool. But when you look at the people that film on YouTube and they start talking about like dangerous neighborhoods and stuff like that, they talk about the stupid stuff that happens, like pickpockets, and they're on their cameras and doing all these things and showing this stuff. And the thing that what people don't realize, they really don't realize, twofold. You should never go into what you consider or think or imagine could be a dangerous area or neighborhood on your phone recording video. Because yeah, you could be an innocent blobber that is just telling your story about, yeah, I'm in Colombia, blah, 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 blah. And this goes for anywhere in the world. But if you're in an area and you're doing that, what you don't know is what you're exposing, because these videos are public, right? So if you're a rival gang and I'm in the lion's den of your turf and your territory, you can now see who's posted up where, how operations are going, who's handling money, where security is, where the entry points are, where the exit points are, where the choke points are, and all of these things from your innocent video of me showing you the barrio. And so sometimes when your phone gets robbed or you get jumped or something gets stolen, it's because what you're showing and showcasing leaves them exposed and they can't have that happen. And so Colombians, even in Central, this goes for all of these areas because in Central, no, it's not the lion's den, but they definitely have organized crime going on in those areas. And if you're recording those things, depending on what you pick up, or if they're unsure, they're not gonna come and explain to you, "Hi, listen, we're the controlling gang in this area, and so for that reason, we need your phone because we don't know what you exposed, or just delete the video." They're not doing that. They're also not gonna expose who they are. They're gonna send some crackhead to come rob you of your phone and give it to them because you don't know what you just captured or didn't capture. So I say all that to say twofold. If you're a tourist blogging or vlogging, do that shit in tourist-filled areas. Tourist-filled like the mall. Don't do it out in the street. Or, like what David did this a lot. I haven't watched some of his stuff recently, but he would tour a lot like in parks or like the metro. These places it doesn't matter because crime's not happening at the metro. Depending on the park, if it's loaded with kids, it's not happening there. So like pick those areas where it's safe to record and not worry about exposing other things. If you know you could possibly or potentially be in sketchy areas or you're unsure, I wouldn't record there. Or, you know, wait until you get into wherever you're going and record at that spot. That is the safest way to navigate some of these things without making yourself a target. Because here's the other thing. There were 68 people that died last year um, from scopolamine here. Now, that doesn't count some of the other homicides that have happened where people always ask the question, I don't understand. How did this guy there's been a couple that have been like, follow DC Born Rob on YouTube if you haven't. I'll put his link down here. But there are some things where people like wake up and they're dead, and people don't understand how or why, or a foreigner that seems like it was an assassination, or even kidnappings, and people don't understand how these things are about to happen. I won't share a lot of things that I know because I'm not going to make myself a target to deal with any more stress than I already deal with just being who I am. But you have to realize that when you're in another country and you're recording and it may be your personal log, you have the responsibility to understand what you could be exposing. I mean, especially here in Medellin, where the majority of the money is made by illegal operations. Like, I don't care what anyone tells you. There's definitely illegal aspects within the entire country, but here in Medellin specifically, the amount of respect that you need to have for organized crime is high. And I've had this and had this exposure and experience from multiple angles here. So that said, be safe, have a good time, and record your videos and stuff like that inside safe places. But I do know actual real danger, and yesterday was exhilarating. It was fun. I did not feel, by the way, threatened or any like I didn't feel at any point in time I was in danger. But I respect where I was because I also understand how fast things can change in an instant. So yeah, all that said, that was the point of today's video. Um, I really want to do a better job of connecting with you guys and just kind of sharing a little bit more about like everything that's going on. I need to do a video which will probably be tomorrow about how Neo's Poly is continuing. We made a lot of changes with Neo's Poly. Um, Actually, one of the girls that I was dating initially that was going to be a part of Neo's Poly and shifted because of Joa and Tatiana's recommendations has come back into Neo's Poly. Um, Mariana, I guess I could just like it doesn't really matter, but Mariana. But she's not here. She's in Mexico right now. She is Colombian. She lives in Mexico half the year. She's here half the year. We'll talk about that, but she's got some businesses and some brands. She already works really, really hard. And we are building some of those things out right now. So stay tuned on social media to kind of see those things. But Neo's Poly is still very much happening. We're just changing characters. Um, and I don't know when I don't really know when I should release like the other names and stuff like that. It's an ongoing process. But to give you kind of an update, we are reversing the engineering of aspects. So you need to work with me first. Show me your work ethic. Show me what you're doing. I will help you create the stability that you need in your life. As we get to know each other, as we grow together, we work in a relationship, all those things. And as that continues with success, we will then start moving into our brands, working together to create those things, living together, etc. So I've changed the dynamics because I had to. Um, as Karen, I got to talk about Karen more because you guys know about her now. I've talked about her in a few videos. But, Karen was like, you can't take anybody else so you can take care of yourself. And she's right. I've got things I've got going on that I've got to take care of. Um, and in that aspect of things, I need some people that I know I could trust and rely on. And right now, Mariana, and I don't want to say her name yet because I feel like she still really needs to prove herself. There's actually two others. Um, yeah, I don't wanna throw names out there yet for the other two. But as they prove themselves, we will talk about them, do videos, get them up on socials and stuff like that so you guys can meet them, and see the process. But so far, it's been really cool. It's been good. They have been supportive of helping me in these situations with things right now already more than Joa, Isabella, and Tatiana. And so, stay tuned for that. Neos Poly is not something that was dependent on the females. It was really dependent on finding the right people at the right time to showcase what love is differently. So stay tuned for all of that. And then again, be on the website, check out social media. I have new links in the description for new social media accounts. Because again, I am still working on getting back into my old social media, my old accounts. If you have not listened to that story, watch the last video. But that said, follow my new social medias, links in the descriptions, to kind of get showcased on where you're like. I have broken some things up now. So aspects of like business, love, fitness and things like that, my nutrition, all that stuff is going to be now separated on other accounts. So follow those. New videos come out, new links will be given so you can follow the new ones as well. And thank you. Love, peace, and hair grease, people. I'm out. Thank you for your help. Thank you for your support. The deal for opening the SoFi accounts, that link is still in the description. The free nutrition course, all of those things, still links in the description. And macros and stuff like that, I'm still doing. So if you want to open up a SoFi account, awesome. If you want customized macros and customized meal plan, do that. Oh, I almost forgot. And shout out to Amelia. I can't think of her name right now, but I watch all her videos and she is trying to get to 2 million subscribers, very different than myself. And I realized that I had never subscribed to her channel, but the last video I watched, she said it like 4 or 5 times. This is me saying, please subscribe to the channel. I'm asking you if you're not and you're watching this and you're seeing this, please subscribe, please like this, and please comment what you thought about it, what you didn't, what you like, what you didn't like, on what you like to see, all of those things. That helps the algorithm, it helps me grow the channel, and I'm asking you specifically to please subscribe. I want, before the end of this year, 100,000 subscribers. And the only way that's going to happen is every single one of you that's watching, whether that's 5 of you or 5,000 of you, likes this, subscribes, and shares it. So please, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I cannot grow and do the things that I want to do without your help. And at the bare minimum, you could do that. So thank you guys so much. Make sure you click the bell for notifications so you don't miss the new episodes, because I promise you, I am going to make sure that I get out a few every week. It takes a little bit right now because I'm still editing things on the phone, but it's all going to come out. So thank you guys so much. Peace.